Right, next up on my table, I've got two engines from a customer. This engine we sold to him about 6 months ago, and he says he was busy racing and it just went bloop. It just cut out, dead, wouldn't start again. So we are gonna inspect and see what we find. We will be shipping this back in a different box. As you can see, I am destroying it. And shing! An engine. Okay, so they also use a really nice tape, type like a material tape to close off the intake. And they also closed off the exhaust, and they also closed off the plug hole, which I might need a plug to check what's wrong. But it just died. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this fan cover to check the coil, that everything on the external side is working and running and the way it's supposed to be. Before we do deep dive, as you know, we always check. So he sent me another engine. So I've got a second engine there in another box. But I am going to need a carburetor for this, to start this engine. It is possible sometimes that a carburetor could also give an issue. But he did try and test it with multiple spark plugs and carbs and stuff. So it didn't start. So I don't think that's going to be the problem. So this is an easy start. That's why the chrome covers are there. But the pull start is black. We actually have to speak to Rovan so that they can make us some chrome easy start pull starts. Coil is not catching. Flywheel looks good. Coil spacing looks good. Coil cap looks good.
I think that it's safe to say that the coil and everything related to it is good.
Let's take this cylinder cover off as well, so it doesn't get in our way for future testing. No! I just dropped the spacer. So I'm going to take all these protection things off so that I can have a look-see inside. It does feel like the compression ratio on this thing is quite high, which we sometimes aim for. We try to make it good. This has a high rev. Oh, this looks like a EZR 305. It is. This is an Easy Trade 305, which is a high compression, high RPM engine. What is that? That almost looks like damage. So I can see something on top of the piston there. I don't know what that is. It looks like something went through the piston, dudes. Something went through the cylinder, I mean. Alright, I'm gonna have to pull it off. Let's get to it.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
That is stripped. Let me use another one. Let's hope it comes loose. No! Shucks, dudes. Why is that stripped? So one of the bolts on the head is stripped, and that is not something that you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove a star bit in there that's slightly bigger, and hopefully it bites enough to take it off. This bite's pretty decent. Moment of truth. Yo, it came out. Obviously I'm going to replace it. This one's going in the bin, but that is happy days. So all I did was I use a star bit. I don't know if you can see it. I use a star bit like that, and that slots in there really nicely. Boom. In the bin. Alright, moment of truth. Doesn't want to pop. Yeah, something is through here. Knocked the cylinder up there. That's the piston right there. You can see all that knocks on top. This is the cylinder. You can see there at the top there. Took a beating. So something went through there. Let's find out what it was. First thing I check is the two internal C-clips. Both are there. Second thing I check is the ring, which is pretty stuck. Doesn't want to move. Let's see if we can just get it out there. Why are you so stuck? So obviously something went through, hit it on the side. And as it was knocking it here on the side, it kind of like bent that lip closed, so it pinched the ring. I don't want to break the ring because I want to have evidence. So I can see both ring tips here. So the ring tip didn't break off. That sometimes happens. Ring tip breaks off and boom, it goes through. Come out of here. It's coming slowly but surely. Here we go. So both ring tips are there. Then the next thing that sometimes happens is the pin bearing. One of the pin bearing roller bearings comes out, and then that pin bearing goes through. Something is weird here. I just pulled this C-clip out lefty loosey, but I pull them out the way I put them in, and I never put it in left. For me to put it in left, I just don't feel comfortable with it. I always put them in right. So I wonder if this engine was open after I worked on it. See, this side is still in there, and it is to the right. It doesn't look beautiful. It's slightly bent, this one, but it's all intact. Yo, okay, that's pretty tight. Doesn't want to come out. So let me get the C-clip out. The C-clip is slightly manhandled, but still did its job. Then I just want to push the gudgeon pin out. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Alright, now we catch all those goodies. I've got both spacers. I'm rolling the pin bearing around to see if there's any missing, and there is. So the gudgeon pin bearing collapsed. Gudgeon pin bearing collapsed. Literally shattered. Oh, I'm losing more pieces. That thin little piece on the inside is what broke out, and that's what went through the engine. So what I'm going to do is replace this with a new CY gudgeon pin bearing. And obviously we got to change a lot. So let's see if we can salvage that cylinder. I'm looking for very deep score marks on the cylinder wall. If there is none, this thing will still hold compression. All I got to do is clean off the pieces of gudgeon pin bearing that's shoved into the top there. It won't have the exact same performance obviously because of the turbulence, but you don't need to replace the cylinder and spend the 20 or 30 bucks if you don't need to. So I'm going to clean off all that stuff, replace the piston, replace the gudgeon pin bearing. Washers are still fine, and this engine will run again. Yeah! What we're going to do is we're going to replace it with a brand new high rev piston, and all that is King Motors CNC lightened piston on the inside, and it's got this kind of like ring cut out at the top, which is like a micromillimeter cut out, and they say that is for heat dissipation, however you pronounce that word. At first I thought that is the high rev part, but I don't think so. So this piston is a little bit shorter than the Roven piston. So Roven piston will give you a higher compression ratio, and this one is lightened though, it is cut out. So this specific piston, the intake skirt has been cut off so that it would suck air in sooner. We know that that makes a performance difference, but it also depends on your port timing. Well, firstly, I cleaned off both heads, both decks of the crank and the cylinder. And now what I'm going to do, and not going to bore you with everything, I'll cut out a lot because you've seen it in my previous videos, but I'm going to stick the piston in here to get the top dead center, and then I'm going to stick the piston on here with an outer ring to get my squish. You see what the gap is, and then if I'm happy with that, then we'll put it back on. It just had gasket maker on. It did not have a gasket on it as before, but whenever you put a new piston in, you got to measure it every single time so that you know what it is. And if I'm happy with that, we'll put gasket maker again. If not, we'll put a gasket, but let's see, right? This is why it's very good to have a long Allen key.
Allen.
So that you can get these bolts in when you've got your squish measuring tool already installed. So for this test, I normally just put 2 bolts in, make them nice and tight, check what the squish will be. Alright, moment of truth. Let's look together. Here we go. I don't know if you can see it. So on that black numbers there, which is a 90, small next to it is a 10. A 10 is a 0.3 of a squish. 0.3 millimeters of a squish. So I'm going less than 0.3. It's about 0.2, which is too little. Especially, I'm a little bit worried about that damage at the top. There's a little bit of a kinks. So I am going to put an absolutely thinnest gasket that I can find in here. Because now what happens is 0.2 is your absolute minimum on a perfect deck, on a perfect cylinder. As it heats up, obviously, it can make it even less, and so you're going to start hitting stuff at the top and damaging the piston or damaging the crank. So it's best to run at a 0.3 and up. You can aim for a 0.5, so that's what I'm going to aim for. I'm going to aim for a 0.5, which is closer to this red 20 over here, or the black 80, which is going to be around there. So let me see what's the thinnest gasket I can find. The thinnest you can get is copper, but I do have some thin paper gaskets as well. Let me stick one of them in there and see what we find. Alright, so I just put a Zenoa head gasket in there. It seems like it was thinner than the Roven gaskets that I've got. Sometimes one of these or some of these from different times are thinner, but all of them seem the same. So I put a Zenoa gasket in here. Let's see what we hit with that. So we are hitting above the 80 mark, which is about 0.65, 0.7. I can't work it out exactly, but it is above 0.6. So it's just above 0.6, which is not bad. I would like it closer, but I think it's going to be tough. So let me quickly see what copper gaskets I've got. Okay, so I found a 0.15 millimeter copper gasket from DDM. Let's see how that measures up when I screw it down, if I screw it in the right way. And that is the wrong way. Catch a wake up, Reno. How many of you realized that before me? 1, 2 of you. Some of the experts watching how I stuff up. Okay, moment of truth. Let's turn it over. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are hitting about 0.4. That is perfect. That is so beautiful. That is where you want to be. So we are hitting just over 0.4 of a mil, which does have micro ups and downs, so I'm saying 0.4-ish, but that is exactly where I want it. I'm going to use this copper gasket. I'm going to stick the brand new ring on there, bolt it all down, and start it up so you can see. Right there we've got a complete engine. Well, almost complete. It didn't come with a carburetor, it didn't come with a spark plug, so I put my spark plug in there. I'm going to stick one of my carbs on there. This is an 1191. I think it comes from my 45cc. And then we are going to fire it up. Rightio, we are outside. And we are about to test if this engine runs. The moment of truth. I've got a good feeling that it's gonna run. So, number one, when you've built a new engine and you put a lot of oil in there on the piston and the sleeve to protect everything, you're gonna have to choke it quite a bit to get a lot of fuel in there to dilute all that oil. Otherwise, it's not gonna start very nice. So, as you can see there, it already wanted to start. And I'm just pulling it like...
Disco time.
I would call that a success. I'll see you in the next video.
Peace.